Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone. A Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction, chapter 12. The best way to describe her demeanor right now is screaming and screaming and squealing joy. It's crazy to her right now that it's all real. What had once been a fever dream and idea is now taking shape in our high school lunchroom. It looks so different. How did it look like this when just a few hours before it had been a mess of high school students who left their trays on every conceivable surface? Marinette allows a happy squeal to escape her. It's like a dream, only it's so much more clear. She thought hard for this and worked hard planning, and it's all coming into fruition. It feels like her own little baby, even though this project is anything but little and definitely not human. It still means a lot to her, to the extent where she's surprised by. It looks amazing, Rose sighs by her side. Marinette is so happy that all she can do is smile and nod. It's not perfect yet, not even close, but it's good enough to be proudly shown off to her friends and take pictures to promote the event. It'd be nice if there were a few more lights in the front and maybe some more decorations underneath to hide the dirty floor under the platform walk, but overall, it's doing really well. The fashion show is going to be the best thing the school will ever see, Alia swears, squeezing Marinette's shoulders. She can only hope for that after the panic of planning and seeing it all happen makes her so relieved and excited that she could just burst into tears. I'm so glad they let me run it. It's going exactly as I wanted it to. Alia rolls her eyes playfully. Sure, like they won't let the person who brought up the idea and came up with the plans run the actual thing itself. There are some idiots at this school, but they are certainly not in that room with you, she says with a laugh. Marinette hears Julika snort in agreement. The sound makes Marinette grin. Julika doesn't laugh often. She's not humorless, just naturally closed off and stoic. And the few times she does laugh, it's quiet and deep and inaudible underneath everyone else's shrieks. Hearing Julika laugh is a genuine treat, and as her friend, Marinette makes it her mission to make her laugh as much as possible. T-minus 6 minutes, her walkie-talkie rasps. Marinette nods, even though the people on the other line can't hear her. She takes a deep breath, mentally preparing herself. Is it time to test out the lighting and the cameras? Rose jumps in joy. Marinette nods back and grins in a more excited manner, however possible. There's a whirlwind of people that pass them by, most of them clad in black. About half of them are wearing some sort of headset or have a walkie-talkie attached to their belts or in their hands. All of them are definitely chattering and passing information to the other, as everyone in the backstage crew needs to know everything that is happening. Even though they don't have models or lines to go down the runway yet, everything needs to be set up as if there were. Ready in 2, another shout calls out and Marinette scrambles to her spot, everyone following her lead. Her laptop is perched precariously on her lap, ready to take notes and critiques. The lights flash and the music blare out of the speakers, right on cue. Marinette lets out a little squeal, unheard over the sound of the show. She types away at her computer, her little notes on how well they set up the music and the lighting in the beginning of it. Already it looks amazing. To her right, Nino is recording footage for their video to show to the school, and hopefully it'll impress people enough that they'll actually come and watch it. That would just be the greatest thing ever, to fill up the gym with so many people excited to see amazing designs, and Marinette got to set up all of it. Your computer is lighting up your smile, she hears in her ear, and Marinette doesn't need to turn to know it's Alia. The playful lilt in her voice gives the brunette away. I'm incredibly proud of you, though. Thank you, Marinette says in a breathless sigh. The show goes well, without a hitch, even without models to help cement the timing. It's perfect. Marinette could honestly cry because she couldn't be happier. There had been the slightest hint of worry in the back of her mind that they got a little off, but it didn't even happen. They are all ready for the real show with real clothing lines and models and displays. It's all done before schedule, too. Marinette lets out a deep sigh and smiles faintly. Hey, Alia shakes her shoulders a bit. She has a slightly mischievous but bright smile on her face. There's someone waiting to talk to you, her friend says. Marinette raises a brow, confused by who it could be. Okay, where? She asks. Alia points to right outside of the gym with an encouraging push. Marinette heads to the door. There aren't many people that this mystery person could be. Marinette only has a handful of super close friends, and most of them are already in the room here. Also, Tiki is sleeping right now, thanks to their time difference. So it's not like she could come and visit in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. The only other person that came to mind was, well, maybe it's a daydream come to life. Hey, wow, this day is just a miracle gift sent from the heavens above, or what? Marin is practically melting at the sight of Adrian at the door. He's smiling brightly, and there's a big part of her that is so excited and happy and hyped up on adrenaline that she just wants to lean and leap in and hug him. How's the fashion show run through? I'm so sorry I didn't get to come. His expression is genuine. I really did want to, for support and stuff, but I had piano. No worries, Marinette replies. I appreciate the thought, though. Adrian nods and looks into the gym doors. He waves a bit and smiles. He probably caught Nino or Alia's eyes again. Do you want to take a little walk outside? I want to hear about how the run-through went, he says. There's honesty in his voice, and he truly does want to know how the show went, not just saying it so she'll be happy. It serves to make her even more giddy. Maybe if he sends her one more smile or one more sweet gesture, she'll feel light enough to actually float away. Going outside, Marinette can see some of the school athletes running on the track. They were all currently preparing for season, and even though she admired them greatly, she'd rather not run. Perhaps she'd be good at track, though. With her penchant of being tardy, she's learned to be quick on her feet, so she isn't too late to all of her commitments. They are too distant for her to hear the They are all too distant from her to hear all the shouts, but the group speeds down the track and Marinette already feels exhausted. She looks back to Adrian, who is apparently looking the same way. He's a soft smile on his face, like he's been dusted over with warm sunbeams. The expression might not be a full-on grin, but it's like quiet, sweet words are written into his features. She can't help but know how pretty he looks. Marinette wonders if he'd like to be called pretty. Girls get called pretty all the time. God knows how often she hears it at family gatherings or birthdays, when she posts something on social media, or just whenever her grandmother comes to visit and coo over her beauty. But some boys like this compliment too. Maybe Adrian is one of those boys. Perhaps he'd like it if she looked him in the eyes and told him just how pretty he looked when he smiled. I only got to see the end of the show, but how did the beginning and the middle go? Adrian says, snapping her out of her reverie. Marinette blushes a little for the reason of feeling caught. It's an absurd notion, considering he can't even read her mind or anything like that. It went so perfectly, she gushes. I was so worried before that, things would get off, but since we, didn't have anyone to actually model the show or whatever. Anyways, but the light and the stage people still did such an amazing job following where the models would go. And the music, oh my gosh, it was all just perfect. It felt so surreal that it was actually happening. It's about to be the real thing with the school, or in the school, with audiences and model and clothing lines and lights and advertisement. Oh, it's coming up so soon. She's rambling, and they both know it. Adrian doesn't seem bothered, though. And Nino got footage, so he'll make an excellent video about it. Marinette sighs, thinking about what's to come. That's so amazing, Adrian says with an honest grin. It's like a spotlight just shone onto her. Marinette feels awkward as the center of attention and twists her hair between her fingers. Adrian must have sensed her hesitancies because he continues, No, really, this is one of the coolest things to ever take place in our school, and you're the one that gets to make it happen. That's crazy. Crazy awesome. I hope everyone thinks that too, Marinette admits. They have to, Adrian reassures her. There's no way they won't love it. I'm sure no one will forget it. A ring on her phone interrupts the moment, and Marinette unlocks her phone to read the text. The principal loved the school run-through, and they want the all-school-wide media to report on it. Oh my gosh! Marinette shouts and jumps up. She jumps up and down like a crazy person. Sure, all of those drag stars will surely think that she's lost her mind, but she's just filled with so much happiness and pride right now that she could not even care less. Adrian also has no idea what happened, but he just washes over with a sweet and fairly perplexed smile. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. She just continues to shout in the air. The principal loved the run-through, Marinette cries out. And he's gonna have them promoted everywhere. This is happening. Like, really happening. Without even thinking about it, Marinette throws herself at Adrien, wrapping him in a tight hug. She's too excited to actually feel embarrassed about it. He doesn't stiffen up, though. Surprisingly, he just wraps his arms around her, and she feels the vibrations in his chest, as well as the up and downs of his breath. That's so great. Marinette pulls away slightly and looks up at him. Her smile is wide on her face. I'm so freaking happy. This is insane. I'm really proud of you for making it happen. She means to say, really? But the words get caught in her throat because Adrien ducks down and without warning, plants the softest kiss on her lips. She swears that she just squeaked and died and went to heaven because, whoa. Marinette just stands there frozen and trying to compute. All that's in her head, and screaming and panic and joy and confusion and squealing and more mixing emotion that she can't even begin to comprehend. It takes another 2 seconds for Adrien to realize what he's just done, and when he has, she's devastated by the look on his face. He looks shocked and crushed, and at the same time, Marinette feels his arms leave her side. He pulls back, ducking back into his own figure. She wants to tell him to come back, but she can't even speak. I'm sorry, Adrien says, and he sounds miserable. I just got excited, and I didn't mean, I didn't think, he admits, hanging his head low. Kiss me again. Marinette didn't mean for the words to fall out of her mouth, but they just did. There's no going back now. Adrien whips his head to her in surprise. Really? He says. He's shocked that she likes him back enough to want to kiss him. Again? Kiss me again, she repeats, this time with mirth in her tone. Well, I'll kiss you again if you say so, Adrien laughs, swooping in and pecking her once more. And because I really, really like you. And I wanted to kiss you for a long time. Glad to know I'm not the only one, Marinette jokes, and he laughs again, holding her in a hug once more. She feels the joy seep into her bones like an everlasting stain that she'll never forget. Marinette is so happy right now, and she'll always remember it.